Ever wondered why some academic papers seem to have a certain rhythm, a flow that makes them more persuasive or engaging? The secret ingredient is often collocations, combinations of words that frequently go together, enhancing the clarity and sophistication of the text. Today, we delve into the realm of collocations in academic writing, specifically focusing on those used for referring to arguments. First up is fall into categories. This collocation implies classification or categorization. For instance, the research findings fall into three main categories. Second, we have make a reference to. This collocation is used to cite or mention something. For example, the author makes a reference to previous studies to support his argument. Next is draw a distinction between. This collocation is used when differentiating between two concepts or ideas. An example would be, the paper draws a distinction between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Our fourth collocation, raise questions about, is used when introducing doubts or concerns. For instance, the study raises questions about the efficacy of the proposed solution. Moving on, touch on issues is used when briefly discussing or mentioning problems. An example could be, the article touches on issues related to climate change. The collocation take into consideration means to keep something in mind or regard it as significant. For instance, one must take into consideration the socio-economic factors influencing education. Next, make a case for is used when arguing in favor of something. An example would be, the author makes a case for implementing stricter gun control laws. The eighth collocation, assess the significance of, is used when evaluating the importance of something. For example, the paper assesses the significance of early intervention in child development. Our next collocation, lay emphasis on, is used when highlighting or stressing something. For example, the researcher lays emphasis on the need for more empirical studies. Lend support to is used when providing evidence or backing up a claim. For instance, the recent findings lend support to the theory of evolution. The 11th collocation, hold firmly to, is used when sticking to a belief or opinion. For example, despite criticism, he holds firmly to his hypothesis. Draw an analogy between is used when comparing two things for the purpose of explanation. A sample sentence could be, the author draws an analogy between the human brain and a computer. Next, draw parallels between is used when highlighting similarities between two different things. For example, the paper draws parallels between climate change and industrial revolution. Present the case for is used when putting forward an argument in favor of something. For instance, the study presents the case for renewable energy. The 16th collocation, put forward the argument, is used when proposing a viewpoint or idea. An example could be, she puts forward the argument that social media has more benefits than drawbacks. Take up the position or adopt the position is used when assuming a particular viewpoint. For example, the author takes up the position that technology is a double-edged sword. State someone's opinion is used when expressing another person's viewpoint. For instance, the article states the opinion of various experts on the subject. Argue convincingly is used when making persuasive arguments. An example would be, the author argues convincingly for the need for education reform. Our penultimate collocation, briefly summarize, is used when providing a short overview or recap. For example, the conclusion briefly summarizes the main points of the paper. Finally, disagree profoundly is used when expressing strong disagreement. For instance, some critics disagree profoundly with the author's stance. And lastly, draw the conclusion is used when deducing or inferring something. For example, from the data, we can draw the conclusion that the experiment was a success. To wrap up, collocations are essential tools in academic writing. They bring a certain rhythm and flow to your text, making it more persuasive and engaging. Today, we've explored 21 collocations used for referring to arguments, each with their own unique applications. Remember, practice makes perfect, so start incorporating these collocations into your writing and watch it transform.